So I was thinking about the video I saw the other day with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. They were talking about Ja Morant, of course, and his episodes that he was having and everything going around with him. And something that Shannon Sharpe said they were discussing, and it bothered me then. And then I watched the apology video interview that Ja Morant did with, I think it was Jalen Rose, former basketball player, now analyst on ESPN or something like that. And during that interview, Jalen Rose mentioned that he has been to the same establishment that Ja Morant was at when he went live on Instagram and showed the phone walking around and everything.
You at the spot, Shotgun Willie's. I've been there.
It's a strip club. And he was like, I've been there too. And it bothered me because it was almost like Jalen Rose was trying to say there's nothing wrong with where you were at. There's nothing wrong with what you were doing. You just shouldn't have pulled out a gun.
You at the spot, Shotgun Willie's. I've been there. You were holding a gun. And we both know how dangerous that can be. Whose gun were you holding?
You shouldn't have had it with you and showed everybody. As in trying to say, I've been there too, and nobody criticized me for going, so they shouldn't criticize you for doing that. Because then it reminded me of what originally bothered me, really, about the whole situation. And Shannon Sharpe, he started speaking about it, saying, hey, I don't know if he said we've all, maybe I'll show the clip. But he references it and he calls it a gentleman's club.
I'm very disappointed in Shotgun Willie's because somebody leaked this information, and hopefully there are going to be other NBA teams or NFL teams or whomever come. Be careful going there because they might put you on blast. Ja Morant is not the first guy to go to a gentleman's club. No. He won't be the last.
Gentleman's club. Now, if I use the word gentleman, what comes to mind? Usually it's a man who is respectful, a man who is moral, a man who treats others with respect, who is not engaged in immoral activity, who treats women with respect and honor as well as himself. A gentleman, it's a term of respect that you use towards somebody that you look at highly and you admire their conduct. Gentleman is something we try to teach our children to be. We want our sons to behave as gentlemen, having self-control, not cussing people out, not getting mad and getting in fights, not stealing, not living an immoral lifestyle. But then Shannon Sharpe uses this term, gentleman's club. He didn't invent that term. He used it because other people use it. That's the problem. We're calling a strip club a gentleman's club. What is gentlemanly about a strip club? About a place where you pay women to engage in inappropriate activities and behavior. I don't have to get into all of that. You know what's up. That's called a gentleman's club. That's the problem right there. The true problem isn't that Ja Morant had a gun. We have a right to have a gun.
You at the spot, Shotgun Willie's. I've been there. You were holding a gun. And we both know how dangerous that can be. Whose gun were you holding?
For whatever reason you want. That's not the issue. All the uproar, he has a gun. I can't believe he had a gun. No, the real outrage is, where is he at 2 o'clock in the morning? He should be in his hotel or at home, wherever, asleep. But he's in a place he shouldn't be. He has no business in. But instead, as a society, we call it a gentleman's club, trying to take away the shame and the reproach for the shameful activity that goes on there. All of the questions and the discussion about his mental health. What kind of state of mind is he at 2 o'clock in the morning holding a gun? What kind of state of mind is a man in who goes to those types of establishments? That's the real question. What kind of state of mind is a woman in who works at those establishments, who thinks she has to behave in such a way that that's the best way she can make a living? What kind of self-talk does that woman have? What kind of dignity does she walk around with? How healthy is her mind, her own self-identity, to subject herself to that kind of treatment? Because Ja Morant ain't the only one in the club.
Forget all that. Let me tell you something. I like to get it cracking in the club every now and then. When you say something to me, but
So many others, NBA players and NFL players and other professionals and other grown men, other people, superstars or not, are in those same establishments. What kind of state of mind are they in? What kind of unhealthy state of mind are they in? The true problem is not a gun. The true problem is the fact that we think those kinds of establishments are acceptable. And then we take away the reproach by calling them a gentleman's club. Is that what we teach our children about what a gentleman is? Is that what we tell our daughters? Hey, when you grow up and get married, find a gentleman. Okay, what's a gentleman? You go and open up the dictionary. A man who attends, who goes to and patronizes a strip club. Really? Oh no, we're just having fun. That's just a way to put it. We're not serious. No, we use those terms for a reason. We're trying to take away the reproach, trying to brand it as something else, and it's highly inappropriate. And that shows the true state of our society that Ja Morant is a product of. Yeah, he's responsible for himself. He's got to make his own decisions. But what about you? What about us? Is our outrage that those types of facilities even exist and that people go to them on a regular basis and that they make a lot of money and that people freely and openly admit that they go to these places? You know, when he's talking about, I've learned a better way to deal with my stress and everything, and that was great. I was very glad, happy for him to hear that, because I've learned a lot about the same thing in the past several years. But what about all the other people that are going to those same places? Is it only a problem if they have a gun with them? If they're showing their gun on Instagram Live like they're a rapper in a music video or something? Or does it show the true condition of our society? To be in such a mental state and trying to find ways to cope with their stress that they go to these establishments instead of trying to find healthy ways to let off some stress, or whatever the phrase you want to use. Our entire society suffers the same things and chooses to deal with their stress or to, quote, have a good time. Same way he does. All the attention got put on him. He's just one of the examples of the greater state of our culture and our society. Very mentally ill, in need of serious help. Therapy is great. I think that would help a lot of people. Problem is, many people just look at his life and look at other people, throw out a comment or two, and then go on living their life doing the same things. The way that you deal with your stress and negative emotions and have a good time, it might be socially acceptable. Unfortunately, Shotgun Willie's is socially acceptable, but it doesn't make you healthier. It does not improve you. You need to challenge yourself. You need to find better ways, just like he is finding better ways. Don't just talk about him and go on with your life. Think about the way you deal with your stress. Alcohol, weed, overeating, shopping, going and isolating yourself, watching a bunch of movies or whatever it is. Consider that. It might be socially acceptable, but is it truly beneficial and helping you? Are you stronger and better because of it? Not just relieved, not just feeling better afterwards, but is it actually improving your ability to function in life? That's what we need to look for. And I have found, and in my reading and studying, I found that the absolute best way is by being connected to and cooperating with and involved in a community of people who support you, give you strength, not just dealing you drugs or taking you out for a drink, but who actually supports you and make you stronger, make you more healthy. And yes, that community, the best one, is a church. A church of people who are living life, going through the same ups and downs, not perfect, but who are working together and gaining their strength from the Bible and their strength from Jesus Christ, and are having their lives transformed as they change the way they think, as they are curious and discover why they act the way they act, and they find in a new strength and new techniques and new decision-making abilities, and they begin to change their life. So instead of finding a community at the club, how about you go to a church? And how about you open the Bible? How about you talk to God and realize that you are part spirit? You can't just deal with the physical. You can't just deal with the mental. There's a spiritual aspect to your life. And you can find real help in a relationship with Jesus Christ.